The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's over. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the stores. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see myself. Hey, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or?
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
Lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Shout out to my boy Kev for always the amazing intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Korner Booth pregame. I'm your host, Jared Clem, alongside a colorful cast of characters. A couple guys joining later, obviously, because that's how we roll on this show. But, of course, joining me now from a basement in somewhere on the shore, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Ordazzo. And from somewhere in Southeast Texas, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, and the recent Norman grad, ladies and gentlemen, Mason Rutch.
Thank you.
No problem. And now, a man who not only is such a gentleman, he poured a bottle of wine he didn't like just now and said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to finish this fucking glass. This man is a Belly Up alumni. He's a fantasy football expert, or at least he tries to be, and a golf aficionado. Me and him still have a standing tee time that we'll maybe never schedule. I'm hoping we get to play at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite people on this planet and friend of the show and friend of ours, the Duck Man Andrew Leduc.
I'm back, baby. And yes, I will finish this glass of wine because I'm not going to waste it.
That's a goddamn hero right there.
It tastes better in my mouth than in the sink, so.
Yo.
Yeah, let's face it. We are all men, so our mottos are if we pay money for it, we're going to use it.
Exactly. 100%. Except for fellas, there's only one beer I will not finish. It was a chai tea IPA somebody gave me once.
What?
Disgusting. I wanted to puke. I gave my buddy
the name.
Yeah, I know. You know, it was part of a value pack. Remember Bronx Bomber Brewing? They used to be really big before COVID destroyed them. They were they had this, amazing double and single IPA and a Pilsner. It was all awesome. But the value pack had all those three. We had three of those chai tea lattes. Chai tea IPAs. My brother-in-law loves them. So after I figured this out, I just shoved both in his face. Like, get that shit out of my fridge.
Sounds like it's got a lot of hype and it doesn't live up to it. Sounds like another Bronx Bomber team lately. So
that's coming later, boys. All right, in the show today, obviously, we may have a nominee for Line of the Week. Will John Morant finally lose his seat? He's been holding this bitch since February.
Did you see my Twitter DM about something else that he did? Because it just adds to his.
I know, which pisses me off because Chris Sims is my nominee today, and I want this to stick. We also have soccer. We have golf. There's so much great stuff to talk about. But you know what? Before we get into the first round, we always just like starting off a little bullshit. Fellas, I'm not going to lie. When you're leaving a bar, I'm going to put this out. When you're leaving a bar, what are the first things going through your head? Obviously, my first one is, all right, am I good to drive? Yes. Second thing, leaving. All right, any cops around the parking lot? No. Should I light up a cigar to, mask the smell of beer on my breath? Obviously. Then I start driving, okay? And obviously I'm driving under the legal limit because I do not want to get arrested, and driving drunk is irresponsible and horrible. I always talk about it. You never drive drunk on the end of the show. Last night, I'm driving back from the brewery. I just bought my boy a couple birthday beers. Shout out to my boy Joe, just turned 26. And I'm driving back, and I see 4 cop cars. I'm like, fuck. Damn, there's a fucking checkpoint. I swear to fucking God. And I start getting closer. No, some nutsack in a freaking Maxima on a straightaway, burnt out, spun out, went into a ditch, and there were 4 cop cars around him trying to help him get out. And I'm like,
scary.
As much as I think I'm having a shitty day, maybe there's nothing worse than that. I don't know. What do you fellas think? Like leaving the bar, what goes through your head when you're leaving a bar and you're driving?
Oh, when you're driving us, when I'm leaving the bar, my first thought is, where is the bathroom? Because I have the bladder of a 7-year-old man with a bladder infection. I can't hold things in longer than a couple hours. So I'm looking for that bathroom before I leave the bar. Once I get in the bar, or once I leave the bar and I'm driving home, I'm making sure we all got our seatbelts on, because every time that thing dings, I can't stand it in my car. But same thing, looking for cops, making sure I'm good to drive. And I don't know if it's just me. It doesn't matter if I've had just a sip, 1 drink, or like 3 or 4. I feel like it's like a struggle to go fast when you're just like, when you've had some drinks. Like I feel like I'm driving and I'm cruising and I'm looking down. I'm like, oh, I'm doing like 30. I feel like I'm doing faster, but then I try and go up to 40, and I just feel like it's just an effort.
I don't have that.
Honestly, Matt, so here's a funny story. I wasn't leaving your house after a McGregor fight, and I literally was driving home through like backwoods Connecticut doing about 30 to 40. I'm like, I am about to get pulled over. This is bullshit. There's no way I was going this slow.
When I walk out of a bar, the only thought on my mind is usually, are the people inside watching me, and am I walking straight? That's just all. Like you said, even if I only had a sip, 1 beer, whatever, how many, for some reason, I always feel like when I'm leaving a bar that everyone's watching me, and I feel like I'm walking crooked, even though I'm not. So I'm always like extra hyper focused on my steps.
See, it's weird. I can leave the golf course, have 3 Miller Lights or a Coors or whatever, get on the road, drive home. I'm fine. There's something about leaving a bar. It doesn't matter if I have 1 beer or 5. I always feel like I'm fucking buzzed. And I'm like, I had a Miller Lite. How the fuck am I? I'm not. Just stop. Just drive, dummy.
I love the people watching though. Like, I don't know. Like when I'm leaving the bar, I'm looking around. Even when I'm in the parking lot, I just like watching the people out there. Like some people just, when I walk in and I see that there's two guys at a bar and they got a shot and a beer, I'm like, I know this place is either like just cheap or it's just a heavy pour or both, because the only time I ever walk into a bar and they got a shot and a beer on the counter, it's usually a dive bar and they got a heavy stout.
All right, so that's me at the bar. I sit down, I order a glass of, not a shot, like a glass of whiskey on the rocks and a Budweiser. And I'll drink them interchangeably.
For me, it's like depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm at my sister's bar, it's a little more higher end. It's usually a shot. It's usually I ask for either my favorite whiskey, which is Buffalo, or I'll get something like maybe something a little similar, and then I'll switch to beer. If I'm not driving, it's whiskey, beer, whiskey, beer, whiskey, beer. But if I am driving, it's light beer, or old fashioned light beer, water.
Fair enough.
Bush Light.
Listen, do not disrespect the Lawnmower IPA.
Mason, you got any good Oklahoma Sooner bar stories?
I feel
not any that I can share on here, man.
Yeah, he's right now.
Any that don't involve you.
Jason's way too calm right now.
I don't even know, man. I feel like there's been a lot over 5 years. And,
it's like crazy shit with like any like fans after games just tear the shit up.
Dive bars, yes, dive bars are the shit.
Yep, I agree.
Everybody at Southern, I think, used to go down the street to like West Side Cafe or something like that. So it's just like you can get like $5 like 16-ounce, 20-ounce beers or whatever, and it doesn't matter which one it was. And
$3 Bud Light pitchers on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I remember that one.
Except I still want to drink the Bud Light. It's just too light for me.
Not enough Bud.
Yep. Bud Heavies is about as light as I go.
Y'all know where my head's at. I'm not making a joke.
Yeah, Bud Heavy's about as light as I go. So.
Nothing political whatsoever. To me, it's just the disgusting beer.
I agree. It just doesn't taste
Listen,
good. Yeah.
When I'm broke and my beer money for the weekend is $25 and I just spent $22 on a 30 rack of Miller. Yes, it's that cheap in Hamden. I literally was thinking to myself, okay, what do I got left? Oh, $3 for beer? Let's go. Walked in, bought a pitcher. That was my drink for the entire night.
That's insane. I used to go to, I don't know if I know it's only Jared would know of this place, but in New Haven downtown, there was a place called Brother Jimmy's back in the day. And yeah, but they sold fish bowls for like $26, and I would get
insane.
If they didn't have the fish bowl, they would give you like the tall pitcher of beer, like the thin but tall one that was like a good like foot and a half, and they'd fill that shit up with jungle juice pretty much, and I'd just give them the $26, and I would sip it by myself and let my fiance drink out of it a little bit, and that would just be all I need. $26, all I need.
That ain't bad.
Every time it's so funny. We could do like a whole bar episode of the Corner Booth with bar stories and just things we love at the bar. One thing I do love is when I see like 4 great beers on tap, but then I also look in the back where I see like 5 or 6 amazing beers like that are just in cans or bottles. That like if I want to hit the dance floor or some shit, or if I'm gonna mingle and move around, I'm gonna worry about some idiot walking into me. I like the variety. That's always the best thing to me. But I don't know. What you guys like? So, like, the other thing is, though, if I'm in there, like, on a Sunday, I'm here to watch, like, football. Let's say, like, the Eagles are on Sunday. Even though I have, like, 1,000 different ways to watch the game, right? Let's say I'm with buddies. We want to go watch the game because it's, like, we're celebrating or whatever. I walk in there, and what do I see? I see, like, 7 great beers on tap. I'm not the driver, and the food's amazing. I'm like, all right, time for my stretchy pants. This is going to be good.
There's nothing like a good bar.
Oh yeah.
When you find one that just hits you just right, it's hard to beat. And for me, it's always the bartenders that it's like whatever the good beer, good alcohol, whatever. Most of the places will have the same, but I come back for the bartenders if they're just personable, have fun with you, and joke around, and then give you good deals and stay attentive. Like I'll be there every time.
Yeah, that makes a bar. Bartenders really make the bar.
100%.
See your boys bartending that night, or a girl or one of your sister's best friends, like in my case. I want them walking aboard my buddies, and my sister's best friend is bartending, and I make eye contact, and she just starts ringing up shots of whiskey, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of these kind of nights. Nice.
Yeah, the place I go to for trivia every Monday night, I just walk in, she sees me already grabbing the Budweiser out. She brings it. I never have to ask. They just show up in front of me.
The dive bar on the corner of my house. I used to, all the waitresses, like, they all went to high school or college with me, or like we all were friends. We knew each other, and like I'd been going there enough since I was 21. And like they knew when I walked in. Me and my buddies I had like 3 or 4 friends who all live around like the bar. We're all in walking distance. The 3 of us all show up. They knew exactly what order. I couldn't even sit down. I had a glass of Yingling Draft in my hands before I even sat down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they wouldn't even charge me for it. They'd be like, dude, it's on the house. Don't worry about it.
See, I'm not a Yingling fan.
Like, neither am I, man.
Like I remember, so I went to college in West Virginia before you could, like when you couldn't even get Yingling outside of Pennsylvania. They were still like locking it down in the borders there. So I remember like just being over the border, like we would get it a few times, go up and get it and bring it back. And like, then it was like, oh, this tastes good. Just almost because it's like you couldn't get it. But then the second I could get it everywhere and I started having it on draft, I was like, this really sucks.
I'd rather drink that than Budweiser. I would drink it all day Budweiser.
Can't do it.
Now, Long Trail Ale. No, that's something.
Oh yeah, Long Trail makes good stuff.
Long Trail Ale is like, and also what is it? Green Blaze was like the first IPA I really liked.
Yep.
I was in a rough spot, I had a rough day at work, and I had no money, no money for beer, and like the beer fridge was empty. I got downstairs, and like a miracle, there's 4 Green Blazes landing on the bottom of the shelf of the fridge that had been there since like February Super Bowl party. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm too broke to go to the liquor store. This is like I was between jobs. And I just broke up my ex, and I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, I need something to drink, and I'm not feeling hard liquor right now. That's what got me in this situation. So I was like, I need a beer. And I'm like, I look down, and I'm like, ooh, Green Blaze. I'm not trying to hit this right now. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Dude, ever since I've been on the IPA train, I'm like, I had 4 of these, and I feel great right now.
They're good.
Oh, dude,
I do like the Green Blaze.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we're doing this Do I do the Puppers, which is a malty caramelly brown ale, or do I do the pineapple resin? We're taking votes here, kids.
I vote the pineapple one.
I'm a duck here, pineapple.
All right.
I'm outnumbered.
Trust me, I only packed 3 beers today, kids.
All right, listen. Well, I guess I'll just pull the Kevin Durant, and if he can't beat him, join him. So just do the pineapple.
Nice. Breaking news: Kevin Durant's going to play for the Nuggets next year.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of which, well, folks, it is time for our kickoff segment for the show. We actually been 15 minutes in without even hitting this right now. So, without further ado, wow! Apparently, I hate streaming. I really do. Here it is. Oh yeah, it's the first round. Cue the Troubadours music. There it is. Troubadours. First round is brought to you by the amazing people at MaulerBros.com. Use promo code BELLYUP for 15% off. Some of the best golf apparel. I actually just got my blue camo polo in the mail. It is super comfy. I'm wearing it this weekend when I take my boy out for his birthday round of golf. And they custom fit to order. Like, everything is there. Multiple styles, multiple colors, and also look out for a Mauler Bros corner booth crossover coming soon. That being said, gentlemen, who's ready to talk a little NBA Finals? I don't know, man. The Nuggets, man, they just came back 30-30 from the 2 superstars last night. And with that, because Matt knows I'm on a roll with the bad headlines, no burnt nuggets. So, fellas, Jokic and Murray both dropped 30. Jimmy Butler and Bam looked like shot fighters after that game. Overall thoughts on Game 3?
I didn't watch.
Oh, no, it's okay. Listen, I don't blame you. I literally was watching at the corner of the bar while listening to my boy talk about shit. He's not a sports guy at all. Yeah. And I'm like trying to pay attention. I will say this as somebody who watched about half the game. It was, listen, the score, everything just felt like you kind of had the vibe. All right, Denver's about to get this. And it's kind of disappointing, honestly. I really wanted to see Miami take a lead in Miami, but I will ask you this. I'm not going to ask about the specifics of the game. Denver Stars showed up. They played out of their mind. I'll ask you this, fellas. Obviously, Game 4 is a must-win for Miami, obviously. That would be like bad journalism if I asked you, is it a must-win? No. Let me ask you this. What are you giving the chances, percentage-wise, of Miami actually getting the dub in Game 4? Duck, I'll start with you.
I don't think they do. As someone who hasn't been watching the series, but just having watched them in the Celtics series barely, because even with the Celtics on, I still barely watched. But that's an NBA problem in my eyes. I think they've just spent themselves. They've played so, and to their credit, they've played so hard up to this point. But Denver did what they were supposed to in all the other rounds, getting up to this point. And Miami's, I think, just spent themselves, and then I think they're probably gonna be done here in 5. I'd say.
You know what? I'll give 6. I think I'll give Miami a solid 55% chance of winning this one tomorrow night. I think the biggest kicker is they just got to get pissed. I think they came in thinking they were gonna have the home court advantage. I think they thought like maybe Denver got punched in the mouth finally. It's like y'all won by 3. I was like, you better beat them by a shit ton of points, or they're gonna mollywop you. Oh, and by the way, Kevin, this beer is one of my top 10 favorite beers of all time, and it tastes fucking amazing. So that being said, shout out to Kevin Wilson of Belly Fantasy, by the way. I will say this, right? If I am looking at Denver as a whole, what was the problem in game 1? It was Aaron Gordon just locked up anybody he guarded. In Game 3, we had the same Nuggets style defense, and then you had the 2 stars drop 30 each. I think Jamal Murray's the key in this series. I said when we did our finals preview, you guys remember I said Jamal Murray's the series MVP. Everyone can talk about Jokic's 41 in their loss, but when they're winning games, Jamal Murray's dropping at least 25. He is the engine that makes that team go. They are a first-round exit or a second-round exit without Jamal Murray in there. He is Shaq without Kobe couldn't win a chip. Shaq with Kobe could. I'm not comparing them to the two as skill-wise. I'm just saying big man guard dynamic, especially with a guard who is a lights-out shooter when he gets hot. Listen, Nuggets got it if Murray stays hot. If Murray starts fading a little bit, or Jimmy Butler actually tries to lock him up, and I don't know. It all depends on can they slow down Jamal Murray, who is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I just love watching him play because he's just electric when he starts getting hot. He's like Tyler Hero with athleticism.
I mean, where is Game 4? Is it in Miami?
It's in Miami.
Yes. I'm gonna give Miami I'm gonna go 60%. I'm giving Miami to win that game. They're not gonna. They can't. Well, one, they can't drop down 3-1. It's gonna be over. Denver's just gonna take it whenever they take it and just play around with them if they want to give them a win after that. But at this point, this is a must win for Miami, and you're at home. Last game of the series before you head back to Denver. This is a must win for Miami. I'll give them 60% just because of that. They can't fall 3-1 and then go back to Denver. That it's just going to be over after that. So I'm giving them the must win percentage with this one. Aaron Gordon, long lost brother of Aaron Judge, is locking down everybody's covering. Jimmy Butler just has to be there more consistently. He had under 20 points, I believe, the last game. And then it might have been game 1. And then this past game, he had 28 points, but he's got to be a little more consistent. You need Bam Adebayo. You need everybody. It's going to take a collective effort for them to take down the Nuggets. This isn't going to be one of those series where it's a Jimmy Bucket show and they win the whole thing. Everybody needs to step up with this one.
Yeah, no, I look at. I like DJ's right. When they're cranking, it's one of the best offensive duos in basketball. I don't think they are the best, but they are if not one, they're top 3. And the problem is Miami needs to have a superhuman performance, and they didn't. Mace, you're cleaning up here. I want a home run out of you. What do you got for me?
So on the percentage kind of thought, I think Miami's got a 50% chance. I'd say it's just kind of a coin flip. Miami has now lost their last 3 games at home, going back to the Celtics series. So to your point, I don't even know if you can really call it a home court advantage at this point. You lost to the Celtics in 2 closeout games, and you got pretty much played off the floor last night. I mean, the game was never close after halftime. It was a 5-point game at the half, and Jokic particularly came out in the third quarter and just absolutely dominated, got everything he wanted, and Miami really had no answer, at all, at any point in the second half. So, I can understand how you can maybe, if you're the Heat, trick yourself into believing, look, the season's on the line tomorrow night. Is the game tomorrow night or is it on Saturday?
I believe it's tomorrow night. I don't know if they're doing
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow night. So yeah, in that locker room, they're over there saying, look, season's on the line. We lose tomorrow night. Series is over. Maybe we can scratch and claw one more game out on the road. But you're not, beating Denver when you're down 3-1. There's just no way. They
get back to Miami.
Right. They're just the talent gap is too large. And so, 50-50 chance. Look, I mean, with the way Denver played last night, man, I don't know how you come back from that, because from a sort of adjustment standpoint, I mean, what do you do? If the two, I saw a stat on SportsCenter after the game, Jokic and Murray combined for 66 total points, and the Heat starters, all of them combined for 66. All of them, all 5. So, I mean, if that's what you're going to be rolling with, now granted, Jokic and Murray probably aren't going for 60 plus again. Maybe they do. I don't know. The percentages probably tell you that they're not. But, if that's going to be what's going to happen in game 4 and then 5 or 6, it's then you're just out of luck, man. You just can't compete with this other team. So, season on the line for Miami tomorrow. We'll see how they respond. I think, I mean, I said this before the series started. I thought that Miami would get one game off them, and that would be it, because Denver is just too good, and Jokic and Murray are just, on another planet right now. But I do agree with you, Jared, in that it does seem like Murray is becoming the X factor for this series, because Jokic is going to do what he wants. We've seen that for 3 straight games now. He's, played out of his mind.
Bam Adebayo is a decent defender, but like he looks like Kevin.
He's got
Love.
nothing, man. I mean, he's got nothing.
Like he's the Swiss, the ghost in the post, baby. He can't play no defense.
Yeah. So I mean, you're right. If they can hold, Murray to maybe 20 or less, and then maybe hope that none of these role players, kind of pop off for Denver, maybe you've got a chance. But I mean, like last night, I'm looking at this box score, Christian Brown, 15 off the bench. So it's just like, I mean, I guess you held Gordon and Porter Jr. to 13 combined, but it's like when you let, Christian Brown come off the bench and drop 15, you've got no shot. So, I mean, they're gonna have to find a way to limit Murray. Jokic is going to do what he wants, and then keep the bench players, the role players, under control. That doesn't happen. It's a 5-game series.
I'll throw that. Yeah, I'm perfect. All right. Switching over to a little baseball action. This is for you, Maddie. Unfortunately, Aaron Judge has no timetable for his return on his injury.
Listen, the man's toe is probably broken. I don't buy the whole sprained.
It's crushed to dust if there's no timetable, my dude.
So which toe is it, Matt?
Big toe. I don't know what foot, but I'm pretty sure it's the big toe.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't know. I saw that whole collision and everything, and like there is no part of me that ever thought it would have been a toe injury. I thought it would have been shoulder or anything, upper body. They just busted through a gate, but apparently it's his toe. I guess I should be okay that it's the toe out of anything, but they'll probably throw him on eventually he'll probably hit an IL. I don't see him coming back in a couple days. He's going to miss this series. What?
It could be worse than being. Hey, listen, you could be a Rangers fan. Your ace is now out for the season for the 15th fucking game.
Yeah.
Hey, DeGrom, you're an amazing pitcher, but maybe you're assuming doing something wrong that maybe is affecting you. There was a shout to my boy Brent from 1420. He posted a poll this morning. Which team is more likely to keep their division lead, Diamondbacks or Rangers? And I'm like, listen, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, man, but like,
yeah,
Houston lost the fucking ace. The Diamondbacks can manufacture runs with a bunt, 3 stolen bases, and a sac fly. That's kind of how they can win games. And with this shift rule, they're killing teams.
Well, I mean, all right. So Aaron Judge is going to hit the IL eventually because he has some sort of like toe injury where it could be broken. I mean, Jacob deGrom is getting UCL surgery. It's not like we're the Dodgers who just put Noah Syndergaard on the IL because he has a blister. That's literally what I heard in their car radio on the way home. They're like, yeah, Noah Syndergaard got banged up. He's not really doing so great right now. And they just hit the IL with a blister. I'm like, a blister? You hit the injured list because of a blister?
LA Dodger water, man. There's something that freaking clubhouse. Scum. It's a scum team.
Man, a blister. You got guys in the NFL playing on torn labrums, and this guy's got a blister.
You're right. Dude, I literally played half a season of football with a sprained MCL, and I'm like, I didn't even know it was bad until I got x-rays after the season. I was like, oh shit, this is fucked up. And they're like, I don't know how you tore it and didn't tear it. I'm like,
I ran a whole season of cross country and played a whole season of lacrosse in high school, and I had a lopsided lopsided loose kneecap. So like my knee was constantly dislocated. I don't know how else to describe it. I didn't tear anything apparently, but I had a knee injury that caused my knee to not be stable anymore. So it dislocated a lot in a year or two span. And I still play lacrosse and cross country, and this guy's got a blister.
Baseball players are something different, man. Speaking of something different, we're going to stay in the state of New York. The Bills finally won something. Josh Allen is now the corner cover athlete of Madden 24. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I swear, if I saw AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts on that, I was going to scream. Oh, God. Because, you guys may think the Madden curse is over and dead. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. Lamar was on it a year ago, and his body got all banged up. And fucking last year, who was it? This past year was Lamar, wasn't it?
No. There was someone in between, wasn't there?
Mahomes is on there.
Mahomes was 2020. He was the one who broke the curse. He won a Super Bowl with it.
So what? It would have been 23.
Didn't they do? Wasn't 23 the Brady and Mahomes one?
No, that was 21.
So
that was 21. Oh, okay.
23 is just Madden, like John Madden.
Right. Well,
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, there's not much,
All right,
can't really
Peter,
do anything.
go, baby.
Really nothing else that can happen.
Listen, I don't trust it at all. The last Eagles quarterback who just went to a Super Bowl and lost was on the title. He tore his ACL and his career was never really the same. So, keep Jalen off the fucking cover. Josh, congratulations. At this rate, Haley Steinfeld is probably going to dump you and you're going to get smoked by the Dolphins. But it's okay because Buffalo still loves you.
It's interesting when you point out that 22 was Mahomes and Brady thing, because after that cover came out, Mahomes has had all those issues with his family being in the limelight, like his brother going to jail, his all the stuff with his wife in the stands with fans. And so he had a lot of personal backlash. I guess you can say that was a curse. And Brady got divorced.
And he threw that bullshit interception to fucking Von Bell. If I was him, I would have fucking lost my shit.
Brady was divorced. Lamar has not been healthy since. So you could say it may just linger and affect you in ways besides performance. But Josh Allen being on the cover, hammer the Jets to win that division just because. Why not?
This is the exact type of long shot miracle the Patriots need to even be relevant this year.
Stop giving yourself hope. You're gonna do. Listen,
I know. I have zero hope.
Listen, you have to follow the advice of this handsome gentleman. He is one of the smartest sports fans I know. He has to deal with the suffering of being a Giants, baseball Giants, a Kings fan, and a Cowboys fan. This man has known nothing but playoff heartbreak after 2014. But he's one of the smartest human beings I know. I love the kid to death. He's one of the other half of the High Low Sports podcast and filling in for his co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite humans of all time, Kelsey Coyne.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
How we doing, brother?
What's up?
I was going to say it's easy to pay attention to a lot of sports when you don't have your team in it to cheer for. So,
I mean, hey, that's one way to look at it. There's also the other way.
Mr. Kelsey, just thought I'd throw a dig right at you.
At least I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon from anybody.
That's true.
I was going to say, I was wondering where he was going with this.
No bandwagoning in my DNA at all.
I was going to say, I was wondering where he was going with this long rant about whatever.
He does this in the group chat. He does this in this too.
I'm just here for the chaos.
You have an Android, so you're weird.
Yeah, no, I'm just here for the chaos. That's all it is.
I have an Android.
You literally renamed our group chat. I'm just here for the chaos.
Yep.
Well, if you ask, I don't remember the guy's name, Bill Bearingwell. I sent you a thing on Instagram about it, Jared, on your DM. So this guy, I don't even know who he is. He's some sort of sports analyst, and he was on a show with somebody, and then Teddy Bruschi was there, and he pretty much said the Jets are going to finish last in the AFC East, and his only reasoning for it was because that's what they did last year. So pretty much he had the entire AFC East standings exactly the same as last year, and his reasoning was because that's what it was last year, so that's what it's going to be this year.
Yeah, because the whole division hasn't been turned on its head at all.
And then said the Patriots will be ahead of the Jets because he believes that their defense is much better. And I was like, okay. So Teddy Bruschi actually surprisingly ripped him and defended the Jets and said they were going to be first or second. So I thought that was interesting.
Teddy has been the opposite of a homer since he's hit national media. Teddy's been very unbiased when it comes to talking the Patriots. So
he took that unbiased rule very seriously, and I respect it.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes he actually does go overboard in the other direction, but it is almost like he's overcompensating.
Well, because Rex Ryan's a huge homer, and every now and then he'll rip the coaching staff, but that's really it.
Yeah, Rex Ryan.
That's a name.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard his name in a while, so that was fun.
I love Sexy Rexy. I was really hoping the Eagles would pick him as defensive coordinator, but it ended up being this new dude whose name I cannot remember at this point. The one who
not Jonathan Gannon, so that's what matters.
Oh fuck no! Listen, I hate that man so much. I stopped making fun of DJ by saying they looked alike because I hated him that much. Jonathan Gannon literally stopped giving a fuck about the Super Bowl. How he goes, you're either fired or you take this job. So you choose. He literally told him to stay on the tarmac. He said, "You're not getting on the plane. Go to Glendale, go get your job, and get out. Like, you're done." That's why the Eagles got a draft pick, because apparently the Cardinals were talking to him during the NFC Championship game, like that week. And I'm like, well, it's okay. Arizona sports, besides the Diamondbacks, are going to continue to burn because they're going to lose everyone else. Yeah, I guess the Suns will be okay.
Sometimes I watch that replay of the video where Jonathan Gannon first meets Buda Baker, and it's just that very awkward interpretation. He's just like, psh, psh, like whatever he's doing with his hands and everything. And sometimes I just watch that like, man, Jared really got rid of this guy.
Here's the funniest thing in the world is like they're still talking about like trading Buda Baker, which is hilarious to me.
There's a lot of people that are supposed to be traded that are staying with their teams.
Well, I think the problem is just like I think who's the GM for the? I know Steve Keim's their owner, but who the fuck's the GM for the?
No, Steve Keim was the general manager of the Cardinals. I think he's.
Oh, that's right. He's the one who got in trouble for the sexual harassment shit, and then they blame the O-line coach because they look alike. I love that conspiracy theory. By the way, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't know who the GM is at this moment. Then,
Monty Austinford.
There it is.
Yeah, what a household name.
Yeah. That's my next guess.
Yeah, that was totally right on the tip of my tongue.
Totally right there, right? And my favorite thing is the fact that, like, I think the Cardinals are our next candidate to go like 1-16. They are going to be that bad this year.
Okay.
I think they give Gannon him the Steve Wilkes treatment. They give him a one and done year kind of thing.
It's okay. The Broncos are still there. They'll still bring up the back of the bus for everybody.
Watch, the Broncos are actually like a halfway decent team this year.
Don't say that. We don't need two Denver teams. We do not need two Denver teams to be successful this year.
Listen, Kelsey, you and me were driving the bandwagon for Russ is going to suck in Denver. I'm going to stay with you, shotgun brother. We're staying in this to the end. We're going off the cliff like Thelma and Louise on this.
I still don't think he's going to be the worst quarterback this year, but yeah, he's going to still be bottom 15.
Well, you know, it's crazy. Last year we did all the football shows and shit, like during the offseason, me and Kelsey were the first two were like, yo, Russ is going to fucking blow in Denver. Can anybody just relax on this shit? Like, they're all talking about Jerry Jeudy's breakout season. Bitch was about to be traded. Seriously.
Yeah, I still think if Patrick doesn't get injured, I think he has a much different season just because that's his type of guy.
Oh, my God. Tim Patrick is the dude. I had him on my team. I drafted him the day before, and I literally the next day he gets hurt in OTAs. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, same here.
Man catches everything. He's just very underrated.
Russ is bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, we got about two more topics left before we start talking to Live Golf here. Going soccer, boys. Messi's coming to America. Messi's signing with, what is it? Inter Miami is the name of the club. David Beckham's crew. They actually got a win last night, 1-0, by the way. Fun fact. This is awesome. I love this. He's following Beckham, Ibrahimovic, and now Messi. It's great. I love seeing these, even if it's just a retirement tour.
You went a generational gap there between Beckham and then Ibrahimovic. Like, that's a whole 15 years.
I stopped giving a shit.
Beckham was a while ago.
The MLS,
it's like Beckham, and then then it's Pirlo, Lampard, Gerrard. Then Ibra.
The MLS is like my seventh sport. I really have to try hard to follow it. It's the only New England team, by the way, I root for.
Let's go, Revs, baby.
Revs, baby.
Fun. Dude,
I'm supposed to go to one in a few weeks. I'm excited.
Of all the Philadelphia teams I would have been okay with you being a fan of, it would have been the Union.
I'm from fucking Connecticut. As much as I hate this shithole fucking state, like
why? So then explain to me why you're a Revs fan.
All my friends are Revs fans.
What's the connection there for Connecticut? Because
no
there's not
connection.
one.
This is the only connection.
They literally play for Robert Kraft.
I don't care. Bobby K got my boy Meek Mill out of prison.
They are closer to Connecticut than they are Boston, though. So,
okay, by what?
You just be an NYFC fan like everybody else.
Why would I root for any fucking New York team? Fuck that city. Okay.
See, you should just become a Philadelphia Union fan. They're a fantastic fan base.
If you go to that game in a few weeks, I'll meet you down there. We'll tailgate.
Listen, I'll be probably going with like Kevin and the boys, so I will let you know.
My only reasoning for ever rooting for NYFC would be because they play at Yankee Stadium, so I already know how to get there. Just hop on the train and drop me right off at the stadium. That's why I'd root for them.
I don't need to find it.
Crazy.
I already know where the good food spots are in there. I'm almost set.
Matt, you know what's wild is the Yankees game we're going to with Jeff in just the Yankees Diamondbacks in September. It's the first time I've been to the city on not a work contract since before COVID, which is wild to me. I live that close to the city, and I haven't been there since before COVID when it wasn't for work.
We were there last December. You're not missing too much.
Oh no, I know. Listen, my grandmother, who swears she loves the city, her and my step grandfather are literally selling their like $1 million apartment because they're like,
do they want to rent that for the low of $500?
Oh no! They're selling that shit wholesale. They're trying to get out.
They can sell it in 3 to 5 years.
Listen. I'm telling you right now because the city's a fucking shithole.
I mean,
they take installments.
Yes,
what,
installments
Matt,
of $200 every 2 weeks. No.
Oh, you forgot. You forgot Pele. He was with the New York Cosmos in '75.
Yeah.
Soccer existed that early?
Only know that because I have it right in front of me.
You also forgot Van Basten and
who?
Marco Van Basten.
No idea.
One of the greatest Dutch players ever.
I don't care.
He was in a Nike commercial in our lifetime, actually.
Cool. Listen, I love USA Soccer during the World Cup, and I know some international shit. I'll watch Premier League if it's on, and my boys want to.
You could have said Clint Dempsey too.
Yo. Shout out to my Texas boy, Clint Dempsey.
Or Tim Howard returning to the MLS. Either way.
I know who he is. Trust me. The brick wall. He kept us alive in that 2014 World Cup. All right. Mace, Duck, any comments about Messi coming to Miami?
I mean, it's good for the MLS. I mean, as we've already alluded to, this is just the pattern now for the tail end of these superstars' careers from the Premier League or the any of those European leagues. So it was good for it's not a bad thing anywhere really, except for who was the team he was going to possibly go to?
Well, Saudi Arabia offered him like a 3-year, $1.6 billion contract or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
Saudi and then Barcelona had like an offer out for him, but they couldn't guarantee that he was going to play for him.
Yeah, he was unhappy in Barcelona, so.
Perfect lead-in about Saudi money for what we're talking about in about 5 minutes is the whole reason I texted Duck. I'm like, I need you on the show, but even more now.
Not to like backtrack at all, but Messi to Miami, this is my reasoning for Miami winning Game 4. Messi.
Listen. I'm solely picking Miami because Taylor Swift just performed shows in Denver.
Whoa, hold on. Time out. Hold on. When did you decide to switch your picks up on me?
I picked Miami.
I've been the only one. Me and DJ have been the only Miami people for over a week and a half
because
now.
you and your annoying ass co-host who I love like a brother literally were like, they're both talking Miami. So I bet money on Miami because fuck it, that's why. And then I saw this whole thing with Taylor Swift first, and I was like, yes, my money's safe. That bitch does nothing but kill sports team franchises. All right. She performs hold on.
Before you leave Messi, let the guy who actually talks soccer talk soccer.
Where's Hector?
Jesus. But no, this is actually impressive because the deal they got done is like historic for a whole lot of levels. If you guys haven't seen it, he's getting a lifetime deal with Apple, a possible ownership deal with Inter Miami as well, and he has the potential to add an expansion team to the MLS in 5 to 10 years after his retirement. Yeah. Similar to the Beckham deal, but he gets money from Apple as well.
I feel like it's a weird deal though because I don't think the MLS is going anywhere. It'll always be lower tier, non-top 5 league, that is not viewed as legitimate to anywhere outside of the U.S.
That's actually okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and poke a hole in that right here and right now, where there have been every English single soccer pundit spends their time watching MLS. They actually air MLS games every Thursday nights in Europe at prime time, and it actually gets more viewership than their Tuesday night Championship League games. which is the second division in Europe. So, if you want to say it's not going anywhere, that's a lie. Because compared to where it started to '96 to where it is now, like it's absolutely fantastic compared to that. Then,
So you want my honest God opinion? MLS by the time we're in our 40s will catch the NHL.
Well, no, actually, MLS is if you're talking ratings, MLS is already a top 3 ratings gainer in America before
I'm
the
just
Apple
talking
TV deal.
strictly about quality.
Quality
I don't
of it
care
is-
about. I don't care about TV viewership. I don't care about revenue. I don't care about
So you don't care about the things that actually Americans care about.
I'm talking
when it comes to
about
watching
quality
sports?
of league, quality of players, quality of overall sort of game.
So have you watched any French soccer before?
It's awful.
It's not on TV.
If it's not PSG,
Just like their company, just like the country's defense against Germany in World War One, II, and
So
whatever
you're
else.
willing to bet that the
I'm
best
willing to say that if I
MLS
took
team-
MLS, I could
so
have
the best
a mid-tier.
MLS team if they match them up with the second place Liga team. What would you suggest would happen?
The best MLS team versus who finished second, which was RSC Lens, or not RSC Lens, Lien, something like that.
I'll just look.
Yeah, it is. No, I know. If the best MLS team is a top 10 team in France, but it's not a top 2 team in France. That's stupid to say, but it is still a top 10 team, and it actually carries out pretty well.
What's the point?
What's the point? I mean, that's a huge gain when you just started the league 20 years ago.
In
20 years, the best team in the MLS is now equivalent to a top 5 league in the world. They're mid-tier.
That in terms of what? All right,
they're mid-tier. What is their 10th
team? And so you're saying the French league? You feel like the French league is the
French league is hands down the worst of the top 5. There's
Okay.
no question about that. That is just a guaranteed fact.
Okay.
But if you're going to take them, the MLS falls in the category of being a top 10 team in that league.
Well. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like the goal needs to be, I don't know. In my mind, I feel like they'll never compare to European leagues because they're so hard to match up with in terms of the opposition that they're playing. Everyone knows that the Mexican league is trending downward. And I mean, the Latin American country clubs are never going to be on the same quality level as Mexican teams, American teams. So, I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
For me, I feel
Flamenco's is not a better team than any team in Mexico, is what you're telling me?
Well, that's South American, not Central American.
Okay, so
I'm
you're gonna
talking
say Chivas
strictly
Guadalajara
CONCACAF.
is not better than anyone.
CONCACAF, not CONMEBOL, just CONCACAF.
Okay, so let me just put it this way for you, so just to poke more holes in this. CONCACAF puts in more teams into the World Cup than anybody outside of Europe.
Okay.
This is known.
Europe is the only country that puts in more teams into the World Cup outside of CONCACAF. CONCACAF puts in 5.
I mean, so answer
5
me
teams
this.
from CONCACAF.
How many top 5 leagues exist outside of Europe, man?
Okay,
None.
how many leagues have been playing for as long as Europe? How many teams have been playing in
South
a
American.
put together? No, not in a put together organized league for over 140 years. There's not a single country outside of Europe that has been doing that.
I also feel like
then you're adding 140 years worth of history and trying to compare it to 20 years in the MLS and saying it's not going anywhere. Like, that's an astronomical growth in 20 years to be what is just outside of a Power 5 team. If you want to say the whole league as a whole is just outside of being the Power 5 leagues in Europe.
So just
if they got entered into the Champions League, they would at least get into the round of 32. Let me just put it that way.
I don't know about that, but
absolutely.
Just,
have you
just
watched any of these Greek teams? Any one of these Hungarian teams that make it? Come on.
Just to pivot quickly. How do you feel about the Apple TV Plus deal as a whole? Unbiased, do you think it's good for the league or bad?
I have Apple.
It's great. It's great for the money, but it's the way the league is structured.
It's terrible for growing the game in this country.
The way the league is structured, the way that TV deals work, which is how Americans really care about their sports. I don't care. It's not going to be quality that's going to sell the MLS. It's going to be how much is going to show up on my TV. That's at the end of the day what's going to sell the MLS to Americans.
I think
Apple
it's set,
TV.
I think it's
Apple
set
TV
the
hurts
league
it.
back 20 years minimum.
Not 20 years, but the money sets it ahead because of the money. It sets it up ahead, but then you take into account the structure for the money deals. That's what allows Messi to come in. That's what allows these big name players. But for some reason, the MLS hasn't adapted to the fact, and this is what things the European has done. It hasn't adapted to the fact of being an at-home sport. They keep wanting to get butts in the seats until they accept the fact that really, if you're going to sell the MLS, you have to do both, and really, you have to sell the at-home experience better. Then that's going to be the moneymaker. Once the MLS learns how to make the at-home performance better, which means get much better announcers, because God forbid, if I have to listen to one of these other ignorant idiots talk about soccer, I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
Look who's fucking here.
If I gotta hear Taylor Twellman, man, that guy is the worst.
Big Head needs to shut the front door.
All I care about is my boy, my favorite soccer expert, Hector Flores, is in the chat. What up, Hector?
Yeah.
My dog, baby. Shout out to his
Hector
boys.
actually had a few quality guests that would make great announcers in America. So.
Oh yeah, no.
But no, until they sell the at-home game, you're not getting anything from the MLS. Like, that's the biggest thing. The quality's there. The quality can be there. It's just a matter of development into the league. I mean, as it is, the America as a whole, the soccer just got switched over to the European system of being by year of birth and not by year of your grade. That just happened in the last 3 years. So, I mean, that by itself is a huge step forward for America. And it's shown in U20 World Cup into the top 8. So.
All right. I think we've definitely had enough of this one. Listen, we went from
I
Messi.
just hate soccer. God, now you know how I feel when you guys talk hockey.
Oh god, I fucking hate hockey. Apparently, I tried to do spell check and it added an extra ing to Vikings.
Vikings.
Vikings got cooked, sort of. Here's my thing about all this. I am not a fan of them letting go of Dalvin Cook. I'm maybe in the minority here. I don't know. Alexander Mattison to me is just a dreadlocked version of James Conner. And now he's been told he's going to be let go. And they didn't draft a running back this year. Congrats, Minnesota. Third place. Real good on you.
I mean, great for anyone who has any dynasty stock in any of the passing game, because that's all they're going to be doing. I mean, Kirk Cousins airing out every game.
I saw a tweet come out that makes a lot of sense. It's funny, but it makes sense. It's a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's just captioned, every NFL team when their running back turns 27, they just ship them off. But Dalvin Cook still RB1 to me. I know his health is definitely concerns. He's not always staying on the field, but he is nowhere by any means to me cooked in the sense of like he is no longer an RB1 candidate for any teams. I think Buffalo makes sense. I know there's reports out there that says he wants Buffalo or Miami. Some people have said Jets and Dallas. I think Dallas can make sense. I think Buffalo makes sense. Miami has like 8 running backs. The Jets don't need it at that position.
See, but he would walk into Miami and instantly be the number one.
Oh, yeah.
And solidify that position for them where they're pretty solid and everywhere else on offense, too.
And anybody else think that like there's some mystery team that's going to sign him that nobody's talking about yet?
Yep, me.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about this for a fucking week. I'm like, why the fuck is everyone talking about him going to the Jets? Every team that gets brought up has like 15 running backs. And as much as
Miami,
Miami, Dallas. Like, Dallas wants Pollard. Dallas wants Pollard to go there. They're probably going to bring back Zeke in camp. They don't want.
No, they're not. Don't you shut your. You do not put that evil on me.
I don't want him to go back because Pollard can't run against the Eagles. The only person who can is fucking Zeke. Zeke is our kryptonite.
That's okay.
But
he cannot play still.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing: is like, right? You guys just want to sign him for like when we have Boston Scott against the Giants. It's kryptonite for them.
Damn you.
I will say this, right? So, yeah, Zeke is basically just a bigger Boston Scott at this point. My favorite thing about all this is everyone's talking about all these teams. There's like 5 or 6 teams that need running backs. They need a good running back. And besides Buffalo, who's trying to convince me that James Cook is a good running back, I'm not like. All right, let's go down the list here because I mean, yeah, we have Denver, who's coming off of Javonte Williams' knee getting exploded.
Yeah, he's come back healthy week 1 though.
So don't
Yeah, I think we get week 1. Thank God, because I had him on my fantasy team last year. 2 bad weeks and then a torn ACL. I was ready to freaking rip my hair out. I still won the fucking title. Trophies behind me, bitch. But I will say this though: there are multiple teams who could use a decent running back, and
I'll give you one.
Yeah,
I'll give you one because I think this makes sense. I think it would be good for both the football team and for fantasy. Same team, I think, would be a great fit for DeAndre Hopkins as well, who is also in free agency right now. I don't put it past them getting both of these guys, but the Chicago Bears. I think it makes a lot of sense. Khalil Herbert is not a number 1. Dalvin Cook would slide right in, and Khalil Herbert would fall back into his role that they like him in.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Bears makes a lot of sense.
I was looking at the Jaguars and the Rams. I know the Rams have Cam Akers, but he's another guy that's not always helping on the field. And I think a team that's just looking for a way out on him doesn't know how to do it. Dalvin Cook would be a nice little plug-in for them. And then same thing with Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is a team on the run.
Dude, even Tampa could use another back to help out.
Yeah, Tampa just doesn't feel like they're in the market to add to that team right now.
Well, I think Tampa realizes they're about to go into hibernation for their 10 years, so they're just kind of chill.
That's how I feel about them.
Tampa is going to be very active in the trade market, man.
Yeah, also shipping people out.
That's what I mean.
Here's another weird one. What if Kamara gets, a nice 6 or 7 game suspension tossed at him?
That's fine. You have Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they got the dude from TCU.
Yeah, what's it,
Kendre Miller.
Kendra, thank you.
Cook wouldn't fit in
which I like him there too behind Jamal Williams. I don't think they would add Cook here.
I'm trying to think of other teams, because I had a list in my head before at work today. I was thinking
Texans, man.
Damian Pierce, really? You want to? I mean,
yeah, dude.
Like, holy shit, that'd be fucking nasty.
I mean, it just depends on what he wants.
Would that turn you into a Texans fan, Mason? Finally,
no, nothing will turn me into a Texans fan. But it just depends on what he wants. Is he trying to go win a Super Bowl? Is he trying to just make some money? I don't really think anyone knows at this point. But I mean, yeah, it's like Matt's saying. If he doesn't really care, he might just go to the Rams. Tampa or someone, right? That sucks. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Somebody said Philly. I'm like, stop. We already have enough injury-prone running backs. Just stop, please.
I'm gonna throw one out there, and we got a fan of him in the chat here. So, Mr. Duck here, your Patriots.
So I thought about it as well.
I mean, if the fact that Damian Pierce being replaced is on the market here, I think Dalvin Cook being replaced is a fantastic option.
Stevenson and Cook together. Holy.
I've thought about it. It doesn't feel like a Bill move though. Like he just doesn't spend money at that position, even if he gets him on the cheap. But he's already gotten his veteran cheap running back in James Robinson, and Cook is better than James Robinson. But I think Bill is satisfied with what he's got there. I don't see him making the move for Cook. I would love it as a fan, but because I agree, I think he still has something left. But I don't think that would happen. I did think about it though.
That's a possibility. Why not? Literally every team. Honestly, if you've stepped out of the Dalvin Cook market, it's because you have 4 quality A+ running backs.
True.
And in the league, there's only 3 or 4 teams like that. The Eagles being one of them. The Jets probably being the other, and the Seahawks being one that wouldn't need him. So.
See, the weird thing is now with this whole multiple running back by committee system, let's look at my Eagles, right? You have 2 primary 1A guys. You have Penny if he stays healthy, and you have Swift if he stays healthy. Both big ifs, but still. And then you have Gainwell, who proved in the playoffs he's probably more effective than Miles Sanders at reading blocks, and the giant killer Boston Scott. I will not stop taking digs at Sanders because his performance in the Super Bowl made me hate him for life, because that dude literally might as well have been legally blind. He's too high profile to go with Pollard, because the Cowboys have proven they want Tony to be 1A, which I think is great for the franchise. Terrible for me as an Eagles fan, but great for the Cowboys franchise. Saquon, when he gets inevitably hurt again in New York, I don't know. Shit, I'm throwing out fucking softballs here at this point.
I mean, who's Washington got, man?
I had that thought.
Brian Robinson.
And then did they move off Gibson?
No, Gibson's
he's still there.
Okay, so no, they're good then, unless they want to ship one of those guys off.
They're not going to.
They're probably not moving off Robinson since they just got him last year. But I mean, but I don't know who's taking Gibson though.
The problem is everybody's so hesitant on running backs right now. Everybody's so gun shy to be like, oh, I'll take a $10 million running back. That's like that seems to be like too much money for anybody. And I'm like, honestly, you throw $10 million out there for Dalvin Cook. You throw $10 million for your backup quarterback at this point. Like you might as well throw $10 million at Dalvin. Like I don't get why people are so hesitant on it, but
I mean,
it baffles me because there's so many teams that could use him at
for you. He's sitting out, 6 games a year, man. He's not he's not even playing a full season for you. No way.
I mean, that's why I'm not paying him $1 million a game. I'm paying him what $600,000 a game. Like at that point, like that's it. You pay.
Dalvin Chicago. Why does it make so much fucking sense?
I told you that's been my number one.
I know, right? I'm like Duck, I'm trying to find a shot in your argument. Besides, like maybe New Orleans, or maybe Buffalo, who finally realizes that James is not a good running back. Like,
well, what about Kansas City with Isaiah Pacheco being injured still?
Yeah, also a possibility.
But that's not a Pacheco kind of rule. That's a Pacheco kind of thing, though. It's like,
what are you talking about? Pacheco's injured.
No, that's not a Chiefs kind of thing, though.
I'm sorry, what?
The
Le'Veon
Chiefs are
Bell?
fucking weird, man. They don't make moves that make sense.
Le'Veon Bell? Like biggest running back on the market, and they're like, oh, we'll throw $10 million at him, and he'll sit the bench and not play.
Play half the year.
But it could be the same situation with Dalvin. At least you have him as a safety blanket for when.
But I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're good enough right now to get away with that. That's the thing.
You don't think the Chiefs are good enough?
No, I don't.
The reigning Super Bowl champions?
I do not.
With an improved offensive line?
See, Mason, I think I'm on your side where I kind of saw the Chiefs as they turned it on. They turned it on when they needed to in the playoffs and did it right. But the whole season last year, they were not the Chiefs that we've seen the last few years.
Let's be honest.
The Bengals are still going to be good. Buffalo's going to be good. Philly's going to be
Chiefs
good.
Just have to beat their division.
Everyone wants Kansas City's blood. That's the thing. Like Super Bowl. I think there was about 5 teams that felt cheated last year, and the profiteer of that was Kansas City. Listen, like. Jacksonville wants their ass. So does Denver. I mean, not Denver. Sorry. So does Buffalo. So does fucking Cincy. So does Philadelphia. There's a bunch of
man. I mean,
can I just try to figure? Hold on. Can I just figure this out?
San Fran might not even win the fucking division this year. Okay, I still have Seattle winning.
All right, now,
but you guys are
cool your Jets on that. Cool.
Sammy interceptions coming through, baby.
Like how are you guys so low on the Chiefs last season, who led the league in record?
Dude, their
WR1
is Kadarius Toney. They're not like the passing game is not going to be the same.
But it doesn't need to be the same. It's a better overall team. It's a better defense. It's a better offensive line. It's a better run game than they've ever had. They don't need to have the explosive passing game.
Kadarius Toney is not that dude.
Yeah.
Hold on. It doesn't have to be Kadarius Toney.
He's convinced they're going to win 10, 11 games.
The Rams.
Like, I'm just trying to figure out here, like how a 14-3 team who won the Super Bowl was a bad team last year, because that's what you guys said.
No, I didn't say bad. I just said they did it.
Was worse than they were previously when they won 12 games and they went 12-4 previous. So you won 14 games and you're worse?
Who's the WR2 after Tony? Sky Moore?
That's a joke, but yes, probably.
Yeah, actually.
Literally, man. It's like
Justin Watson. But hold on. Actually, I think you're mistaken here, because Kadarius Toney is wide receiver too.
Ross, who hasn't even taken a fucking snap.
Kelsey is the number 1 receiver. Right. We got it. He's going to get doubled on every play, and then what?
And yet he's still somehow open.
I mean, what?
Guys, they have Justin Ross.
Travis Kelce gets double teamed on every play and has been for the last 3 seasons, and yet how many times has he set the record for passing receptions and yards by tight end?
There's nothing you can say that can change my mind.
All right, we'll just wait at the end of the season when they're sitting there again at the top of the AFC West, and we're all just like, how do they keep doing it?
Well,
wait, maybe we should have listened to Kelce in the preseason.
All I know, listen. All I know is this: is that like, here I'm gonna make a joke to break the ice here because we talking so much about this shit. We had the Chiefs at the White House. There were so many people I hated in one area. It was perfect. All I'm gonna say.
Look, and all I'll say to close out on the
list now.
On the Dalvin Cook.
It's okay. I've been on a list since I was born, man. You remember my dad?
That gives me a baker's dozen.
I theorize that I'd like to see what Dalvin Cook looks like as far as his injury history goes with a more mobile quarterback such as a Justin Fields, because I think that it could take some hits off of Cook.
I think also
He had
Dalvin
Kirk
Cook had
Cousins
to
and
be,
who the hell was before Kirk? Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Like,
and then before that was
Put some
Sammy
respect
Floppy
on Case
Sleeves.
Keenum in Minnesota.
Don't forget
And then
Before
for
Case Keenum was
revolving
Sam
doors,
Bradford.
it's Sam Bradford. Yeah, he's
Before Sam Bradford was Christian
what about
Ponder.
what about the Bengals for Dalvin? Because we don't know what's happening with Joe Mixon.
That's true. We don't know what's
I
happening.
thought
with
they were
this.
keeping
That's
him
not a
at this
bad
point.
call.
Why is that in
Legally speaking, we don't know what's happening with Joe Mixon.
Is that in trial right now? Has anybody heard any updates?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything in months.
Well, they also have P Ryan, but P Ryan's not an every down back. P Ryan is
No.
I thought P. Ryan retired.
No, he's
No,
still
that
on the
was
roster.
oh god, that was Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, that's Bernard. And he
different-
retired from
Wrong Bengals running back.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, we brought Duck Man in here for one reason. Also, one, I fucking missed this motherfucker. He was like my proxy older brother at Belly Up, and then he had to go and move away with that weenie from Florida. I'm just kidding. I love Coop. It's all good.
I was gonna say, come on now.
No, listen, I got no bad blood to Coop, man. He's Coop is one of those dudes. He's gonna do his own thing. There's no bad blood here. I will say this though, Duck Man, this is your time to shine, my friend. Tuesday gave us a headline of headlines because this came out of fucking nowhere. For credit, I have been family friends with Tiger Woods' caddy since I've been 10 years old. Joe LaCava is my mother, Joe LaCava's wife is one of my mom's best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of known the whole Tiger Woods scenario. Like, I knew he was playing in the Masters like 3 weeks before everyone else did. I couldn't say anything because technically my mom had to sign an NDA. It was a bunch of bullshit. Whatever. Here's
That's
the
your
thing.
mom. That's not you.
Yeah, an associate. She can still get in trouble. Anyway, the fact that I work for a media company, it's anyway.
We volunteer, sir.
Anyway,
my W-2 doesn't come in.
Yeah, right. Me and Mike's always just a bench. I thought the title was pretty fitting because Messi turned down the money from Saudi Arabia, and any money inside that fucking country is always muddied up with a bunch of shit. Live in the PGA Tour and where the fuck the DP Tour is, or DB or DS
It's
or whatever.
it's the old European Tour.
Whatever the fuck
The
it
DP
is.
World Tour. Yeah.
They all merged. Nobody knows what the fuck's happening. Nobody knows it was happening until it happened. They were finding out via Twitter. Scott, if you want to actually understand, one of the most plugged in people in golf, which is Scott Van Pelt, literally was saying on McAfee that he called like 15 pros and caddies and executives. Nobody knew this was happening.
Yeah, like 4 people knew is what the rumor is. 4 people.
Yeah. So that's why in the title, I literally was taking a joke at Jay Monahan because, dude, he literally is a scumbag for this shit.
Yeah, so a few things to clear up here because everyone's been quick to jump to say that this is the PGA, DP Tour, and Liv Tour merging. And in essence, they are in a way, but not in the competitive sports world just yet, at least as far as this year goes. Nothing's changing this year. And we don't even know if anything's going to change competitively in the coming years yet. Those details haven't really been very clear. What has happened is so the PGA Tour is still going to stay an individual entity, nonprofit style as they've always been. But what's been created is this commercial entity that involves all 3 of these tours sharing profits from the commercial entity. And that's where the PIF pretty much technically isn't the majority stakeholder, but has put in the most money. But I think the percentages still leaves PGA as the stakeholder, but let's be real, money talks. So that's a whole nother discussion. But this is much more of a move of what this showed me is that the PIF, I don't think ever really gave a crap about Liv Tour. I still think Liv Tour is going to disappear come 3 to 4, 5 years from now. I think once those 5-year player contracts run up, guys are going to make moves elsewhere unless more comes of this merger in the coming year or so where it does change competitively and they do just blow everything up and create one big tour. I don't know. But if they all stay as their own individual entities as they are now, I think Liv will still disappear eventually because I'm not convinced the PIF really cared about Liv. I think this was their way to get their hands into the PGA. I think that was their ultimate goal all along. I think this shows it that they just wanted an avenue to get their money invested into the PGA as a company and as a sports entity, and they've now accomplished that. So Jay Monahan, I mean, spoiler alert, is my clown of the week vote later because I think he did the players dirty. I said it on my show, Divots and Pivots Tuesday night. I said what this did, even though we all knew it wasn't really the case, but the PGA has always championed themselves as being a player-run league. And even though we know for real it wasn't, but that's always been the facade that's been in the public. And this is just completely, I know I've seen all those, I've seen all those TikToks too. But the facade of player-run league now is completely out the window. Jay Monahan just pulled the wool over these guys' eyes, and nobody saw this coming. And yeah, they got the players. I understand why they're upset. They got done dirty, and there is now even a divide in the higher up players of the PGA and the lower players that feel snubbed here because Rory's staking his flag and still standing by the PGA to a point. Like, he's still calling them out that this wasn't that he feels like a sacrificial lamb. But even it came out that even the players meeting they had in Toronto the other day, Grayson Murray, who's ranked like 272nd in the world, something like that, yelled out for Jay Monahan to resign and that they didn't trust him and that he lied to their faces. And Rory up front yells back, "Just play better, Grayson." So like he's still kind of defending the PGA name and Jay to a point here, which is I'm kind of curious to see how this all plays out from within the players' politics of themselves. It's a messy situation. It's easily the biggest golf news to drop since the PGA was formed itself at Jack's hands back in what was that, the 60s or something? I forget. So this is the biggest golf news since then, and we'll see how this all survives.
Can I just say that I think this might be the best money move the PGA Tour has ever made? I know they're still technically a nonprofit, but like at the end of the day, I kind of want to give Jay Monahan a little bit of credit because it's like, dog, you just got investors without searching, without actually even having to do anything for these investors down the road. Like you just said, we'll figure it out. And you sent out a press letter, and now you got all this extra money come in. So it's like, in a way, you got your players back too.
So
like
that's
possibly
because then what they said about the players who were on Liv is they said they will be given a fair reapplication process. They're not saying that they're going to be reinstated anywhere. DP Tour has actually already come out and said they will not have any chance of playing on the DP World Tour for the rest of this year, which means they will not be eligible for the Ryder Cup. Or at least for the European Tour. So we'll see in the coming year how those avenues may open up for those players to come back. I know there's plenty of PGA players, I think Rory included, who doesn't think they should be allowed back. So that's where I think that it'll be good.
Rory sucks now.
Matthew Fitzpatrick has been very outspoken about it, saying they made their bed. They're dead to him, basically. Rory said just the other day at his press conference that he still hates the Liv and doesn't think they'll survive. So there's still a lot of bad blood. So it's going to be interesting. We got a hell of a year.
I'm here for the chaos. Also, fuck Rory, man. Like, you've been choking away majors like crazy. Rory's like my least favorite fucking golfer. I hated him more than I hated Lefty, and now Lefty is not as bad to me anymore.
Lefty.
I wonder how long Rory will keep that up though when he's counting his extra $5 million. When he gets that nice little Liv money bonus,
man. He doesn't need.
It doesn't.
More.
He's going to enjoy that nice extra $5 million burst in the purse shares every tournament.
That's nothing. He wipes his behind with that, man.
Well, he's going to have a whole lot of two-ply going forward. Then at least,
yeah,
I mean,
he's switching a single.
The dude never has to worry about buying more toilet paper. He's just going to enjoy it. Like, I just think there's a lot to say about the money at the end of the day because it does talk, and I think that's what we saw with Phil, obviously, but. Like, I think Rory is going to change his tune when that money hits his bank account.
See, those are the details that I still want to hear, though, like how it is actually going to trickle down into the players as far as going into the purses, or like they've been very clear that this is them investing in a commercial entity of the PGA for profit. So, like, is there wording in there that is going to keep this money from going directly to the players or having a chance to go to play? Like, I'm curious to see all the details that we're going to find out over the coming months now, because I think there's more to this that we just don't know yet. That's not going to necessarily be as good or as bad as some people think.
I like the idea. Like I like the PGA staying on as a rules entity basically, as that nonprofit rules entity.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the idea of them just saying, you know what, forget the PGA Tour as it is, forget the Live Golf Tour as it is. Next year, we're just going to throw it all together, have our own party with these crazy events, and take a little bit of aspects from. I think adding a team event to a PGA Tour event could be so cool. I would say that's the one thing from Live that I really enjoyed was that like team golf aspect, and it adds a little bit of fun to some degree to what is a very cut and dry weekend mostly. Like you go out, Thursday, Friday, cut line, maybe you come back Saturday, Sunday type of thing. Like it adds a little bit more variance to that type of situation.
See, for me, I don't enjoy the team aspect. It does nothing for me, but I can see where it is attractive to some people who watch golf. Like I see the potential for it. It's just me as the way I view golf. It's just not how I watch golf. It's just not my thing, which is whatever. It's a personal preference. Rory even alluded to that's the one part of the competitive side of this deal that Rory did allude to, and I keep using him because he's the main player that has spoken out in an actual press conference with the press. So he's all the quotes at this point outside of social media. But he even alluded to, is there a possibility that there's going to be some sort of team event or events where he's playing? Like he already said that he doesn't know what that looks like yet or when, but he's pretty much said that's probably going to happen. Now what some people are saying, including my co-host Bud, was saying the other night that he wouldn't be surprised if it was almost like the Live format was more of the fall season of golf, and which makes sense because it's a down period for golf as far as viewership and mainstream goes. So do they use that opportunity to go around the world and do more Live style events? Then that makes perfect sense in my eyes. I'd be fine with that because then that still opens the door for Tiger's new sports, indoor golf league venture to happen like in a couple events in early January and February. So like if we can have that type of transition into the main meat and potatoes of what we know and love about the PGA season, which is, players to tour championship at the end of the year, like that's all right with me. I just want to hear all the bitching stop. I'm sick of the bitching from the players. I'm sick of the bitching from the fans. I am sick of hearing Phil and go spout off and Brandel Chambly spouting off back. I'm just, for the love of God, everyone shut up. I'm so over it. It's not why I watch golf.
Are golfers one of the worst trash talkers in the world of sports?
It's terrible
because it feels like it. Honestly, reading Twitter about like all this feels like watching golfers try to talk trash is just very boring.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. At least at the professional level.
It's like tennis players trying to talk trash.
Yeah, at least at the professional level, it sucks. But
you know what? The weirdest part about all this shit is just like it was a big headline and we heard all this shit and then it took on silent for the last 2 days.
Oh no, it hasn't. Where the fuck have you been?
It sounds.
Welcome to somebody not on golf Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I guess I'm in.
Duck, this is why I bring you in because you're on golf Twitter. My
phone hasn't stopped all week.
I know. Like for me, it's like there's the headline, but then mainstream it kind of dropped off, and I was like, oh, so it's just a golf thing again. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm like waiting for the next kaboom. There's no other kaboom. It's just literally the first one.
The kaboom is sitting in Saudi Arabia right now counting their money. Like, they just made the deal and they're like, all right, we're out now. They released the memo. We're good to go.
Fair enough.
For the players to find out it's awful.
Well, folks, it's about that time because we're not to the dartboard. The dartboard's kind of been played out a little bit, but
you're just sick of holding it.
Yeah. Doing something like was killing me. But our friends over at SeatGeek brought us something better. Promo code Belly for I believe $40 off your first order.
20.
Thank you.
That's right.
Brought us this segment, which is brought to you by Philly's third favorite athlete, Mr. Harper. Bryce, take it away, please. Thank you.
Bryce, that's a clown question, bro.
Yeah, Bryce, whatever. Shut up. All right, here we go. So the rules are simple. The reigning clown, it's like the not top 10 number one that like Sports Center used to have it going where they would say, hey, listen, you need somebody to beat it. Now it's a panel of 5 We've got about 10 minutes left on the show. My nominee is Chris Sims, the lame, somewhat annoying son of the even more annoying Phil Sims, and his vendetta against Jalen Hurts. I don't know if Jalen hit on his wife at a press conference or something, or just made a joke about how bad he is as a quarterback. I don't fucking know. But the dude ranked him at 7 for his top 10 active quarterbacks right now. And then also to double down, said Jalen blew a 30-point lead. To quote one of my favorite humans on the planet, Darius Slay, I said humans, not players. Slay goes, no, the defense did that, bro. You got to stop. This is the 4th straight year where I've just seen Sims dunk on him like he owes him money. I don't know if Sims has some personal vendetta. He went to Texas. That kind of makes sense, actually. But I don't know. Chris Sims is a football commentator is washed. At least his dad, you think Sunday football on CBS, Phil Sims is there. Chris is just kind of been an afterthought. I'm done with it. I know it's kind of a weak argument, but to me as an Eagles fan, I'm like, dude, it's your 4th straight offseason shitting on Jalen. Leave the fucking kid alone. I don't know. Anybody else got a nominee before we throw up to the Mr. Morant sweepstakes?
I got nobody new to throw in there. I will say I think Chris Sims is a buffoon, but I still can't take this away from Ja flashing a gun on Instagram Live twice, compared to a guy that just is a terrible sports take and is known to have terrible sports takes. I still have to go with Ja on this one.
Anybody else want to throw in the fact that Skip and Shannon is now dead because Skip won't delete a tweet?
No, I'm grateful. I don't want to. That's a happy moment for me.
The death of the sports debate shows. God bless.
Yeah. Can we throw the guy that stole Demetric Felton's SRT Hellcat in the mix? One of a string of robberies against Browns players, but he found his helmet in the back of the car and tried to return it. Got himself busted that way.
Okay. That's a dipshit of the week, man. That's not even
dumbass of the week.
But the Hellcat's still missing. But the guy that stole the guy that stole it and he found the helmet, returned it, and is now busted.
That's just a dumbass.
Listen. If I was
I'm struggling to find something that's going to
get my car back. I won't press charges. That's how I would be about it.
See, for me, I already teased it. For me, Jay Monahan does beat John Morant, not because of the deal he made, but because of what he said just a year ago. Almost to the day, when he was shooting down Liv and using 9/11 and the people, his family, friends who had people die, using that in his public address to basically try to get his players to not take the money, saying that what you need to, as Americans, you need to think about where the money's coming from. And the year comes around and he takes the money that. That's clown move behavior.
Jay Monahan might actually surpass Ja because, and I can't believe I'm abandoning that fucking tool, Chris Sims, but I fucking hate that little dweeb. Here's the kicker, though, is this dude not only played off of national tragedy to further his own gain, but then doubles back and takes the money from said team he shit on while telling players that you have to protect the league, you have to protect the tour. This is a thing. And all week I thought about this. I'm like, dude, you are a giant piece of shit. And also, fuck Rory McIlroy for telling you to play better. How about you stop being a little baby back bitch and just shut the fuck up, Rory?
I just love that because it showed
Rory since he started, so it doesn't really fucking matter to me.
See, I think that just showed Rory's just really annoyed and frustrated, so he just lost his temper. It seems like in that moment.
Every fucking tournament.
The what?
From choking every fucking tournament. Come on.
No, I think he's pissed because he put his neck out there for the PGA in the press and was the talking face defending them, and then he didn't even know about this, and he feels like, as he said, the sacrificial lamb. So I think he's trying to hide it, and he spouted off at another.
I feel like it's still going to be Jay Monahan. All right, so we'll throw it out there: Jay Monahan and John Morant. Chris Sims, I don't think hits the cut here. Fuck you, Chris. But still. Gentlemen, Matt, Kelsey, and Mason, you guys are the deciding votes here. Who is the clown of the week? Is it still John Morant, Mr. Strip Clubs and Guns, or is it Mr. Jay Monahan? And yes, DJ, I will drop as many fucking ass phones I fucking want.
Man, we're never going to get sponsored by the family-friendly Jack Daniels.
I'm more of a Basil Hayden guy anyway.
Angels envy all the way.
Dude, nah, fuck. Angels is good, man, but Buffalo Trace is my shit.
Okay,
we're not breaking down this conversation.
All right. All right, first vote, Mason, Ja or Jay Monahan? Who's your pick?
PGA commish for me, man.
Oh,
I like it, Mason.
Mr. Ordazzo, you're up.
Oh man, you bring America into the situation now. Now it just takes a whole little plot twist.
Can I change it? Can I leave a little caveat to this? It was actually the family of 9/11 survivors that wrote letters to Phil. Not anything that the president said. He didn't actually say the 9/11 things. He was talking about the letters written by the 9/11 family survivors.
Fair enough, but he used that to
it was brought up by the interviewer.
Yes,
and he was responding to the interviewer. So
fair enough.
I just want to clear that air about that because he didn't actually say it, which would have been way more atrocious.
Fair.
Well, with that little small piece of detail, now I'm leaning towards Ja. So I give it Ja.
Yeah, I'm going John Morant myself. I think Jay Monahan is an old white guy. Does it surprise anybody that he said something stupid?
But I will say this is the first time in about probably a solid month or so where we've had this close of this tight of a race for Clown of the Week.
Oh, damn, with 2 minutes left, I gotta bring out the fucking bullhorn. I hate you guys so much right now.
Bring up, you got to get the soundbite of the UFC announcer going and still whenever somebody retains their title.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that one because that would probably copyright. I feel like Dana White would try to sue me.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we get referenced by Dana White.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I mean, listen, I would say we're a fan.
He might finally learn a thing or two about sports.
Well, folks, here it is. Josh still the fucking king. I mean, since the Super Bowl turf guy, Ja has been reigning supreme.
The Super Bowl turf guy, that's right.
Oh my God, nobody's come close. Even Juju's dumbass couldn't even crack the code.
You just can't be that stupid if you're Ja. His level of stupid is so far above everybody else.
To quote your co-host and our good friend, no, not that one. This one.
Yeah, no, look, I get it with Ja. I get it, 100%.
Jay Monahan's just an old white guy. That's just the only thing that just makes it he's an old white guy. I don't really care what he has to say.
He's not that old. I don't know what his actual age is. He's not
he's
that old.
61. He's not
he looks great for 61. I'm not gonna lie.
He does. He does.
To quote the fellas over at Craft Brew, shout out by the way. OWGs tend to ruin everything.
Yeah.
No, he is 53 years old from Belmont,
Massachusetts. My father, who is 10 years older,
he looks way older than 53
years old from Belmont.
I take it back. He looks way older than 53.
Does that change your vote? Because he is not just some old white man.
No, he's still an old white guy. That's still an old white guy type of thing.
Cranking out that Social Security benefit, bro. He's got Medicaid on lockdown.
I was gonna say I didn't think he looked even in the 60s.
He's still 2 years away from getting a senior discount at the right restaurants.
At the right ones.
He can get Denny's at senior discount in 2 years.
He's not eating at those restaurants though. That's the thing.
Exactly, that's the problem. That's why I don't care what he has to say. He's an old rich white guy.
He also grew up in Belmont, which is a fairly affluent area of Mass too. So.
Oh yes, it is.
Old white guys club in the PGA. Old white guy running the club. It all just makes sense.
All right, well, gents, as much as Monahan tried so hard and got so far, in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Nice.
John Moran still the king. Shout out to Chester Bennington, Lincoln Park for me just mailing in those lyrics. All right. Shout out to our sponsors, Mahler Bros, Candips.com, promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. And of course, SeatGeek Belly for $20 off your first purchase. And to our friends and fam over at the Corner Booth crew, we appreciate all of you so much and Belly Sports as a whole. Mr. Kelsey, where can we find y'all amazing content?
So you can find us every Thursday. Well, actually, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at High Low Sports, or at high_low_sports on Twitter. You can find us live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then you can catch us. That was live every Wednesday. Every Thursday, 6 a.m. Our audio episode goes live. It's been a long week, man. I'm ready for it to be over.
I don't blame you. All right, Duck Man. As much as I hate shouting out a rival fucking competition, where do we find your shit?
Competition means it's a rivalry.
That's a real loose word, competition.
Okay. Every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, Divots and Pivots. You can find us on Fantasy Sports Corporation. Same thing. The next day, the audio goes live on all your podcast platforms. So check it out. We're talking golf. We're talking DFS picks and news every week. So check it out every Tuesday, 8 p.m. live.
Still my favorite golf podcast.
Thank you.
The only golf podcast he listens to, actually.
Exactly.
I'll take
Let's
it.
be very clear. That's why it's his favorite, is because it's the only one that he can actually
Because I know Duck. I know how he operates, so I'm good with it.
I will take it.
Listen, if it's a friend of mine, it's a podcast, and it's a subject I enjoy. Listen, I play I think probably 30 to 40 rounds of golf a year. And honestly, I thoroughly enjoy it. And I thoroughly enjoy playing those games. And it's a sport I love, and I play a lot. So I love and I try to watch as much as possible. The problem is, man, on a Sunday morning, I'm either mowing the lawn. On a Sunday afternoon, I'm probably at a barbecue or some shit, or I'm doing something dumb. But if I have a chance, I'll watch golf, and I love hearing about it afterward. I will never do daily fantasy for golf because that seems like a clusterfuck. But I will try my best.
I'm on a winning streak, baby.
Attaboy.
Can
All right.
I use Live Golfers? Can I get some of their paycheck?
Madden, where can we find our amazing shit?
You could find us at Corner Booth Pod on pretty much everything, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything like that. We go live every Thursday, as you all know, from 7 p.m. Eastern time to 8:30. And we film on usually Mondays or Tuesdays, and we post the day after on all major podcast socials like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everything like that. If I missed anything, Mason, please let me know, because I just went on and I have no idea if I said anything correct.
Checked all the boxes, man. Excellent job.
Listen, you can find me and these two handsome gents from Milford and Houston on our show at the Corner Booth Pod. Drops as Matt and Mason said so eloquently. We appreciate you for stopping by. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Men's Health Awareness Month, by the way, to all those. And also shout out to our boy Joe Hall for Hall Across America. Go check it out. It's all about raising awareness for men's health. And as somebody who I have had a lot of people in my life who've been affected by this, it is a very important topic that needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. So I guess definitely Men's Health Awareness Month in June is a very big thing. Shout out to Divots and Pivots and High Low Sports for sacrificing their co-hosts today. And also shout out to Billy.
I'm not making it home tonight, am I?
Now listen. I said, Deej texted me. He goes, "Yo, I can't make it this week." I'm like, "Bro, I miss Kelsey. Can I get him on anyway?" I was even mad. I was gonna say, "You want to take the week off? Like, I'll get Kelsey on." Because as much as I love DJ, bro, I miss talking to Kels.
You say it's like an either or thing here.
I mean, listen, I offered both of you the fucking thing about coming on. I figured it'd be fun as shit. Because our two shows, just doing shows together is fucking awesome. So I'm waiting for you to have all three of us corner booth fuckers on your show.
I don't think we can handle that. Our show would explode.
Exactly.
We barely handled having Jared on as a guest one time. That was explosive. Like, it barely made it.
Listen, my sister, when she was describing me to one of her friends, goes, "He's dynamite wrapped in hand grenades and soaked in gasoline." So,
love it.
I would say vodka, but okay, that works too.
Whiskey. Come on, you gotta give me some credit here.
I'm trying to, Molotov cocktail here.
Yeah, but it's not my shtick. Either way, folks, enjoy your weekend. We will see you on Monday for another Corner episode. We were doing a show this Monday, dropping at midnight on Tuesday. We will be off the following week. Thursday shows going forward, possibly. If there's not a Thursday show, we'll let you know. Obviously, probably Tuesday night. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great week to all my friends in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. the smoke starting to dissipate. I just saw the sky before I went downstairs. God bless. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll actually see sunlight again. Canada, keep track of your nitroglycerin, you jackasses, because that's what started the fucking fire. All right, folks, peace.
Did he just leave?
He didn't even end the broadcast. He just straight left.